Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a video review. And for this review, I'm going to be taking a look at the Serious Sam collection for the Google Stadia. So technically, this is my first review of a game on Google Stadia. The game is also available on the Xbox 360. And I believe it's also available on Steam under, I think, a different name. I believe it's Serious Sam Complete Collection or anything like that. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, though, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you could click on the card that will pop up on this video, though. When it comes to first-person shooters, though, the ones I remember growing up were games like Wolfenstein, Doom, and all that stuff. Those that kind of made an impact on the industry and so forth. But there were other ones that I've heard before, but never really got into in any way. Maybe because I was just young at the time, or didn't really get into it as much until later on in my life. Games like, say, Duke Nukem is one example, though, and even games like the Shadow Warriors, to be exact. Serious Sam is one that I may have seen maybe when I passed by or read something, but never really got into those games or anything like that. It wasn't really, I didn't really get into it until recently, when I heard that Devolver Digital was signing exclusive with Google Stadia to bring this, or shall I say, more likely a timed exclusive to the Google Stadia platform. Not to mention, earlier this year, they released the Serious Sam collection, a collection of several of the Serious Sam games available on the Google Stadia. So when Stadia ultimately decided to launch finally the Stadia base, or just the free Stadia or just plain Stadia, I decided to give this one a go, the Serious Sam collection, though. And while I will admit that the game may not be for everyone, I will say it is a game that I'm definitely enjoying and having fun with, though. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons, and we'll start off with the pros part, and we'll start with the first one. There's really only two pros I can think of, though. The first one has to do with the gameplay, and the gameplay, I will say, is over the top, and I certainly don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm definitely getting the game like an old school vibe to it, more in line with like games like, say, Turok Dinosaur Hunter that I remember playing back on the N64 and everything like that. I mean, it doesn't take itself serious and all that, but it is just a regular, enjoyable first-person shooter. It's a linear type of first-person shooter, but there are areas that are kind of open, and during these times you'll see like hordes and hordes of enemies coming towards you and so forth, not to mention different arsenals of weapons and guns to use against your enemies and so on. So it's completely like Doom itself. It's over the top and all, it's silly, and has that old school first person shooter vibe to it, and I certainly think that is a very good thing, though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the collection, and supposedly in this collection, at least the one for Google Stadia, is basically you're getting the first, the second, and third Serious Sam games, plus some of the DLCs with it as well. So I mean, it's a pretty good collection, and the fact that you get all these games in this collection is really neat and everything like that. I'm sure there have been different, I think there was a Serious Sam Fusion that was released like years ago and all that stuff, but it's nice that this one, at least before Google Stadia came out, but it's nice that for this collection, though, you're getting like a good amount of games into it. And although most of the games follow the over-the-top gameplay, though, it's still nice that they had added all this stuff for this Serious Sam collection. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2, which are the cons. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of the Serious Sam collection for Google Stadia. So now that we gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And like the pros, there are only really 2 cons I could think of, at least with my time with Serious Sam collection. The first one has to do with the gameplay though. Now, as I mentioned in the pro, I actually enjoy the gameplay. I love the whole over-the-top approach. You definitely get an old school first-person shooter vibe to it, and I still stand behind that, especially if for those who like games like Doom or Wolfenstein and all that stuff. But I can understand the gameplay may not be for everyone. I mean, it's basically the gameplay is not going to be like what you would get if you were to play something like a Call of Duty or anything like that, or like a Borderlands or something like that. So if you're expecting that kind of game, you're not going to find that with the Serious Sam collection. This is more towards to me, I feel is more geared towards those who like that old school first person shooter vibe to it, or those old styles of first person shooters. So there are some that are going to like the gameplay. There are some that are not going to be fans with it and all that stuff. Plus, not to mention, there are some elements of platforming in it, though, and some people may not be a huge fan of it, though. Platforming in first-person shooters, while it doesn't make the game impossible, it can be, shall we say, tricky at times. And last but not least is the visuals. Now, personally, I'm not losing sleep over the visuals or anything like that, though. I think they are fine, but it may not be for everyone's taste. I mean, looking at Serious Sam 1 and 2, the visuals, I mean, look like something coming out of like the 90s and so forth. Some people, again, it doesn't bother me at all. I think it's because of when the game originally came out. I think the first one came out back in 2007, but the visuals basically look like one of the early 3D type of games compared to what Serious Sam 3 looks like, though. But I mean, while it's not the best looking game out there, it's not terrible or anything like that. And as far as playing it on the Stadia, though, the visuals to me look fine. I mean, they're not spectacular, but they don't look terrible or anything like that. Overall, I would say I'm having fun with the Serious Sam collection, though. I like the over-the-top gameplay and so forth, though. It basically gives out that classic first-person shooter vibe to it and all. And I definitely am pleased that this collection finally is available on Google Stadia. Yes, gameplay is not going to be for everyone. Visually, not the best looking game, but that doesn't really bother me as much, though. Plus, it's also something for those who have Google Stadia. Plus, it's something to keep you hyped up for the upcoming release of Serious Sam 4, which is something I'm looking forward to, though. So overall, I would say if you like old school style approach of first person shooters, though, then I would say give the Serious Sam collection a go. Okay, this concludes my video review of the Serious Sam collection for Google Stadia, and of course, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Serious Sam collection for the Google Stadia? Is it something you're willing to buy for Google Stadia, or do you prefer sticking with what is available on like the PC, or like when the game originally came out on the Xbox 360? Or do these kind of first-person shooters in any way interest you at all? Does this hype you up? Does this help hype it up to the point where you're looking forward to the upcoming release of Serious Sam 4? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, then I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!